Hi friends, and welcome to my channel. Well, if this is your first time here or you've watched a few of my videos, I just want to say thank you so much. Welcome. I created this channel really to dive into what it means to be well and all of the aspects of being truly well and thriving, whether that is physical, mental, spiritual, emotional, because they are all connected, right? Like if we are physically well, it encourages our spiritual wellness and our emotional wellness. So this video today is for those of us that are feeling lost, that are feeling anxious, that are feeling alone and discouraged, feeling stuck in our lives and feeling like we have no direction, that we're just kind of floating through our lives. I hope that this helps you point your life in the direction of truly being well and thriving, and pointing you in the direction of finding your purpose. Because let me tell you something, you only have one life, and in the grand scheme of things, it is very, very short. Personally, one of my biggest fears is coming to my deathbed with regrets, wishing that I would have done something or gone somewhere or spoke to someone, anything like that, wishing that I would have accomplished something. I do not want to come to the end of my life with regrets. Now, this is just my opinion, but I do not want to spend one day where I don't feel like I am moving towards the direction of my passion, because I've been in the place where I felt lost, and I've also been in the place where I knew what I was doing, the job that I had, or where I was in my life, the relationship I was in, whatever it was. I knew that it was not fulfilling me and it wasn't my passion or my dharma. We'll talk about that in a minute. Because of those experiences, I feel so passionately about living my best life, the life of my personal excellence, and that is going to look different for everyone. So just a gentle reminder to not judge what you see outwardly in other people's lives, because if they're living a life that they love and they're thriving and they're striving, then we have nothing to judge. We really have nothing to judge about anyone all the time. It doesn't matter what they're doing or who they are. It's not our place to judge. So this is not to say when you are trying to move in the direction of your passion that you won't have hard days, that there won't be difficulties, that there's not gonna be mountains to climb, that you're not gonna have doubts and feelings of insecurity, because that is just part of life, right? But when we are, in my opinion, when we are moving in the direction of our purpose, of our dharma, we are able to take those difficult days with a little bit of a different approach, with a little bit of a different understanding of, and the ability to question, what is this situation here to teach me, rather than why is this situation happening to me? Does that make sense? So in this video, we are going to go over 3 things. We're going to talk about the difference between being pushed and being pulled. We're going to talk about how to find your purpose and what that looks like. And we're going to talk about how to turn the momentum in your life towards the direction of your purpose. So let's get started. First of all, I do not know what's going on. I do know I was scratching my neck, so sorry that looks weird. Anyway, moving on. There's this quote by Tony Robbins that goes something like, when you are being pushed to do something, you only have so much willpower. Push will wear you out. But in turn, when you're being pulled, there's something larger than yourself that you're here to serve and that you believe in, that you're being called to do. That brings energy. This is exactly what monks call dharma. There's a really great book, I will link it down below, by Shetty called Think Like a Monk, and he talks about this. He talks about dharma in a lot of other publications and videos, so you could just Google that. But dharma is combining our passions, purpose, and gifts. And when we are able to successfully combine all 3 of these ideas, that is when we achieve our personal dharma. So the two of them are very linked, right? Like being pushed and pulled and finding your dharma. It's the same thing, in my opinion, that these two men are talking about. It's finding what we are being pulled to, what excites us, what energizes us, versus what we feel drains our energy, or that we're being pushed or we're pushing ourselves towards. So that leads us to number 2, which is, how do we achieve and how do we do this? How do we find our dharma or our passion or our life purpose? Especially if we feel lost or like we have no idea where to start, this is exactly for you. So I have a few questions that help us dive into finding our life purpose. And I highly encourage and invite you to journal the answers to these questions, to write them down, for a couple reasons. Journaling has a lot of benefits. The two largest, in my opinion, is one, it forces us to slow down because we are physically writing. So it forces our brain to slow down and take a little bit of extra time. And secondly, it is something that we're able to go back and reference, which, especially in this kind of journey and this process, it would be beneficial to be able to go back and reference the answer to these questions that we wrote after, ask yourself this question today, and then 3 weeks from now, ask yourself this question, and then you're able to go back and compare your answers. And in comparing your answers, you're able to look for similarities, you're able to look for what keeps popping up, and that will point you towards the direction that hopefully you find your purpose in. Okay, so questions to ask yourself. What excites me when I think about it? What excites me? Is it cooking? Is it being outside? Is it socializing, talking with other people? Is it singing? Is it math? Is it exercise? Is it writing? What excites me when I think about it? The second question would be the opposite. What do I feel physically drains my energy just when I think about it? And number 3, what scares me the most? And now I'm not talking about spiders or heights or something like that. I am talking about when I think about doing something, what scares me? Things that we are afraid to do or things that scare us often stem from, we have this fear of failing, and that's where it's stemming from. So, although it's uncomfortable, doing what we fear the most is often where we grow the most, where we learn the most, and really deep down is what our passion is. But we are so afraid of failing that we don't want to even try. Now, this is a whole nother video. I actually did a video on failing and how to kind of turn our approach and mindset from fear of failure. So I will link that right here for you if you're interested in watching. And if you have any other topic ideas regarding fear of failure and failure in general, pop them in the comments below and I would love to do a video on that. So if these 3 questions seem too big or too broad, or you're not even sure where to start with those, first of all, I encourage you to just sit down and commit to 15 minutes with yourself in the quiet. You can play some quiet music, but without the TV, without distractions, without other people around, and just be with yourself. You may surprise yourself and find some answers to these questions. But if you'd like to start a little bit more simple, you could start with, what am I interested in, or what am I interested in learning more about? At the end of the day, we need to try things. There's no way, especially when we're young, teenagers in your 20s, even 30s, there's no way that we can figure out exactly what we're passionate about, what brings us energy, what we enjoy, without trying things. And having that mindset of, it's not negative or positive, it's just an experience. Whatever we are experiencing, if we didn't like it, great, we learned what we didn't like. If we liked it, great, let's explore more things in that area. But the bottom line is, we have to try things to learn more about ourselves. Finding our purpose, finding our dharma, finding what's pulling us is a journey. And we don't have to have it all figured out. I think oftentimes We want to rush to the ending, to that dream job, the dream car, the dream house, the dream life, whatever it is. We want to rush to the ending. But I promise you, the journey is the best part. When we are able to successfully shift our mindset from that future orientation of I won't be happy until I achieve, until I get, until I am this. When we're able to shift our mind from that perspective to enjoying the journey and what is this journey teaching me? What can I learn out of this season of my life? Because whether you realize it or not, you are already on the journey to discovering your passion, to discovering your purpose. If you're in a place where you're not happy, you're figuring out things that drain your energy and that don't work for you. And that's a good thing. I know that it's frustrating, and I've been there, and there's seasons of our life where we will just find ourselves in those situations, but they are teaching you something. You are learning something from this season and from this experience. But how can we turn our focus toward the momentum of where we want to go? Because there's people that are watching this, and it might be you, that you feel like you are not even facing the direction where you want to go, let alone moving towards it. So how can we turn our momentum to face towards the direction we want to go? This is really simple. You, and only you, can change that. It is not once I achieve something, once I'm in this different place, once I'm physically or mentally or emotionally. It's not an outward thing that needs to happen. It's an inward thing that needs to happen. And inwardly, in your mind and in your heart, switching your mindset. We have control and power. So this is gonna look vastly different for everyone, because everyone's dharma, everyone's purpose, everyone has a different thing that lights them up and that they love and that gives them energy. So I could give, examples till I'm blue in the face. But my advice here is to start small. Make very small changes to move towards the direction of where you want to be, because life is crazy busy. We have bills to pay, we have obligations, things we need to do. A lot of times we can't just uproot our entire life and move to a different location or move to another job or start school for this, degree if we have bills to pay and all of these responsibilities. So start very small. If you want to be a head chef or a manager or run a company or do anything really that has to do with public relations and dealing with people, go work a public service job, go work in a restaurant, go work in a grocery store, part-time, one night a week, whatever it is, to gain that knowledge, to gain that insight. If one of your life goals is to have a dog, go walk some dogs. If you want to have kids, go babysit. If you want to be a singer or an artist or an actor, sing in the shower or start a YouTube channel. Surround yourself with pieces of what you want. This begins the ball rolling in the right direction. And if you don't know exactly where you want to go, that's okay. Move towards the direction of where you think might interest you or where you think you might enjoy, what may give you energy, because you're going to learn so much along the way. And to be honest, we learn and grow and develop along the way, and you're going to make adjustments no matter what. So it's okay if you don't have this big, lofty end goal in mind right now. I'll leave you with this. Pay attention to how you feel getting out of bed every morning. Are you pushing yourself to get out of bed, or are you being pulled to get out of bed? I hope this was beneficial. I hope it spoke some life and encouragement into your day today. Let me know your thoughts below. I would love to connect with you. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you next time. Bye.